What's up, guys? It's Tom. Welcome back to the lab. Welcome back to another video. Welcome back to my life. Today, I want to come at you guys with some information that I have gleaned from years of experience being a remote session drummer specifically, but also a remote producer, remote mix engineer, basically just a remote musician. I have been doing this for 5 years now, full-time. I've been doing it for longer than that, part-time. I have been at this for a while. I want to share with you some of the things that I have learned that have allowed me to succeed in this format, because I think that in 2020, with social distancing, with quarantine, with isolating ourselves, the opportunity and the necessity for remote work and the remote making of music is higher than ever. I really think that there's plenty of opportunity in the marketplace and in the field for tons of people to be doing this and tons of people to be doing it really well. And I'm really excited to see that there are a lot of people that I know who have long been the tried and true, have to be in the same room style people, transitioning into working more remotely pretty effortlessly. So I think that the opportunity is really there. I think that there is plenty of space for everybody, and I want to share what I have learned through my experience doing this that I think can help you be successful as a remote musician. Now, before we get into it, I want to remind you, as always, to please subscribe to my channel, hit that little bell icon, and like this video if you dig it. And if you dig it really a whole lot, then you can share it with your friends too, and I would be super grateful for that. So, moving on, I want to give you 3 what I consider to be must-haves to be a successful remote musician. Now, whether you are a session player, a producer, a mix engineer, a mastering engineer, whatever, this applies across the board no matter your specialty. So, 3 things that I think are must-haves to be a successful remote musician. Number 1, you need to have existing work. Now, if you're starting from zero, this is tough. Fortunately, I've made some other videos on how to get started from zero as a remote musician, so you can check out my channel and go watch those and then come back to this one. So what you need is existing work. You need songs you have played on, songs you have produced, songs you have mixed. Again, whatever your specialty is, you need a body of work that you can show to people that says, here's what I do and here's what I do well. If you don't have something that someone can listen to when they don't know anything about you, they're not going to know if you're any good or not. And even if you are good, they're not going to know if you're the right fit to work with them. If a producer is looking for a guitar player and you shred metal great, but they need somebody who plays blues well and that's not you, they're not going to know that unless you can show them something you've worked on. Or conversely, if they need a classical guitar player and you are awesome at that, but you don't have any evidence of your playing, it's going to be a lot more difficult to get them to hire you because they don't know if you're being honest about your talent level and ability. So make sure that you are cultivating existing work, because that's the number one thing people look for and listen for when they come to you in the first place. Number 2, you need good enough gear. I will go on record, I have before, and I'm going to go on record again and say I'm not a gear nut. I'm not a gear guy. I subscribe to a very minimalist philosophy when it comes to gear. I just don't like clutter, and I don't like collecting a bunch of stuff just to have it laying around just in case. That's not my bag. I know a lot of musicians are the opposite of me, and that's totally cool. Go get your gear, man. Have fun. What I'm not saying is you need all of the gear, so don't hear that. And I'm not saying you need the very top of the line gear out of the gate either. So don't hear that. But what I am saying is that your gear has to be good enough. Don't go out and buy the $100 mic pack and the starter drum kit and say, I'm a remote session drummer, because your sound is just not going to compete. On the other side of things, I'm not saying go out and buy an SSL console and stick it in your basement either. There is a middle ground there. What you want to do is just make sure that your gear is up to snuff, and then figure out how to be the best at using it. That's a part B to this number 2. Be good at using the gear you have. If you have great gear, it doesn't matter if you don't know how to use it. So get good enough gear and then learn how to be great with it. Number 3, this is so hugely important. It should be number 3 and number 4. Be good at communicating. When you are separated by distance, communication becomes even more valuable and necessary. Ask anybody who has gone remote for their job whether or not they communicate more or less with the people they work with. You have to. Have you ever been in a long distance relationship? You have to communicate more. You have to text more, talk on the phone more. You have to make sure that that dialogue is open and ongoing. So if you suck at communication, but you want to be a remote musician, I would highly advise you to get better at communication. Set times that you check your email and text messages. Set times that you check your DMs on all various social media outlets. Make sure that you have a strategy in place to hold yourself accountable so that you're constantly staying up to date with the people you're working with. Whether it's clients or collaborators or whatever, you want to make sure that whoever you're working with knows they have an open line directly to you and you to them. Great communication skills are such an asset in remote work, and especially in remote music. So if you want to be successful as a remote music provider and creator, I'm begging you, get really, really good at communication. Communication via text, email, phone. I love using text over voice to communicate when I'm making music with others, because talking on the phone pulls me out of my flow state. I have to take a break to make a call. But a text, you can fire off really quick, or an email or a message or a DM. These things can happen really quick, and it doesn't have to pull me out of what I'm doing when the flow state is so important to creating. If you're a creator, you know that the flow state is important. So quick, very concise messaging via text and email and DM and stuff is really, really good. So if you don't have the skill of being good with your words, typing, I would recommend to try to work on that, because that's a huge plus. That has been one of the reasons I have been able to win at this game for so long, is because I got good at that. And then number 4, I know I said I was going to give you 3, but I'm going to give you a bonus. Be organized. If you don't have good organization skills, then you don't have a way of holding yourself accountable. When you're working by yourself, I'm in this room by myself 10 hours a day doing my work. There is no one to make sure I stay on task except for me. And to do that, I have to be organized. I have to manage my time very, very effectively. So time management and organization are huge, huge bonuses to being good at making music with others remotely. Again, create systems, put things in place. I burn up my reminders app on my phone and my computer. I burn up my calendar. I put everything on the calendar so I don't forget it. I write everything down so I don't forget it, because I know that if I don't, the million other things going on will take my focus away and I will forget about that thing. I flag emails that I need to respond to. I make sure that I check my messages on my phone and DMs at certain times of the day. In fact, I have reminders set on my phone that says, it pops up and it says communicate. That's all it says. Communicate. I go through my list, I check everything, make sure I've replied to everybody, and then I hop back into work. So be organized. It will be a hugely, hugely useful tool for you if you are trying to create music remotely. And that's it. These are the things that have helped me succeed as a remote musician, and I think that they will genuinely help you too if you start to implement some of these things, if you're not good at them or haven't thought about them. And if you do have something that you have used that I didn't mention in this video, please let me know in the comments, or hit me up on Twitter, DM on Instagram, whatever. Let me know. I would love to maybe make a follow-up video to this if there's enough stuff that I just haven't considered that people are doing really well that I can learn from. I'm a constant student, so if you tell me something in the comments that I'm not doing that I think is of value, I will totally give it a shot. So that's it for this video. Thank you for being here. Thank you for watching, and I will catch you on the next one. Peace.